that causes many natural disasters. In fact, the source for every volcano, earthquake, tsunami, and polar shift is found beneath the Earth's crust. Well, the thing that could trigger this is something that some scientists believe in. I don't think it's totally been proven, however, and that is the alignment of all the planets in our solar system will be adjacent from the black hole in the center of the Milky Way, and according to many scientists, the year 2012, this will be the first time that galactic alignment has occurred. And that could result in a polar reversal or a polar shift, which would not be a complete reversal. But with regard to the solar maximus that will take place, one editor has written in London's Daily Mail that it will result in no electricity, no food, no TV, no radio, no telephones, the internet, medicines, manufacturing, or farming. He further predicts that 100,000 Europeans will die of starvation by the end of 2013. Hanlon says, and he's the editor who wrote in the Daily Mail, that it will take 2 decades or more for plant life to return. And so many scientists are predicting some major upheavals in 2012.
I understand that this is a very split topic when it comes to the scientific community. Is it possible that there's just as much hype when it comes to the end of the Mayan calendar and the end of the world as there was with Y2K and nothing happened?
I'm sure there is a great deal of hype about it, and I think we need to sort through all that. I do think we need to be very watchful about what is happening around us. I do see signs in nature of, tremendous changes. For example, global warming. A lot of people have doubts about global warming, and yet when you look at Russia right now going through a heat wave, a disastrous heat wave, that is probably a hotter period than they've ever experienced in the last millennium, then you begin to wonder, and everything else that is happening in the world, it seems like natural disasters are becoming more cataclysmic than they ever were, with Katrina and the floods in Nashville and Iowa and Pakistan and the earthquakes and tsunamis all over the world. And of course Jesus said that in the end times there will be earthquakes in various places, and of course there always has been. But it does seem like there are that earthquakes are increasing with greater intensity and frequency than they have in the past as well. The Cherokees talked about the third great shaking of the earth, and they almost seem to indicate that will be World War III or something equivalent to it. They believe the first great shaking was World War I, and then World War II was the second. But during the third great shaking, they really believe that the end of time will be upon us. And so a lot of Native Americans have that view as well. But as I said before, some of them believe that it could be the beginning of a whole new age for the human race.
Tell me, as an author as well as a biblical scholar, do you believe that we are in the end times as talked about in the book of Revelations?
I do believe that, and my basis for that is really what Jesus said about the end times. And he really gave a few different things. He said that this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Well, satellite television and the internet are enabling that preaching to take place. Satellite networks are reaching into, even some of the remotest parts of the earth, and radio broadcasts and so forth. Jesus also said, "Then there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equaled again." If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. Jesus had a great deal to say about the end times, and it would seem that he wants us to be prepared for the time when the last days. And he said, when evening comes, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning today it will be stormy, for the sky is red and overcast. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs of the times. He calls us to be vigilant and to be prayerful. The Apostle Peter said, the end of all things is at hand. It is time for us to be serious, to be vigilant and prayerful. Jesus also said, just as it was in the days of Noah, so also will it be in the days of the Son of Man. People were eating, drinking, marrying, and being given in marriage up to the day Noah entered the ark. Mm-hmm. Then the flood came and destroyed them all. It was the same in the days of Lot. People were eating and drinking, buying and selling, planting and building. But the day Lot left Sodom, fire and sulfur rained down from heaven and destroyed them all. It will be just like this on the day the Son of Man is revealed. And of course, Orthodox Christianity teaches that Jesus will come again. It was interesting to me that...
Lloyd, please stand by. We've got to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back. Exo-Nation Lloyd Hildebrand is our special guest. He's the author of 2012, Is This the End? Website, www.bridgelogos.com. And we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as the X-Zone continues from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
You're listening to the X-Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035. Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, X-Zone Radio TV at hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Exonation, Lloyd Hildebrand is my special guest. He is the publisher and CEO of Bridge Logos Foundation. Throughout his career, he has served as a pastor, teacher, professor, writer, counselor, and educator. He has co-authored several books, including Cops and God, God's Special Promises to Me, and Victory in Jesus, and edited hundreds, including Heaven is So Real. His website, www.bridgelogos.com. We're talking about Lloyd's new book. It's entitled 2012, Is This the End? Lloyd, in order for the end to come as written about in the book of Revelations, doesn't the Antichrist have to come first?
Yes. He will appear on the earth, and of course, throughout history, many people have tried to guess who he is. There are people today who believe he has already been born, but the 10 key prophetic signs in the Old and New Testament of the end of the world would be the return of Jews to their homeland, and that happened in 1948, the repossession of Jerusalem by the Jews, the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. That has not taken place. There are some groups that are planning it, though. The establishment of a one-world government, the recognition of a one-world religion, the northern invasion of Israel, an increase in worldwide travel and knowledge, the rise of false prophets and an increase in occult activity, the church will become apostate, and then society will suffer a major moral breakdown. Well, many of those things have already taken place, but some of them have not.
You know, this leads me to my point, Lloyd, that if we're looking at December the 21st, 2012, and first of all, the Antichrist has not made his appearance. If the Antichrist is born, and if we're looking at a year and some odd in order, before December the 21st, 2012, I think there's something wrong with this timeline.
I can understand why you're saying that, Rob, and I also would say that we can't be sure of 2012 at all, and I don't mean to be a prophet of doom in any way, shape, or form, but there's also in the Islamic faith, they believe in the return of Jesus Christ also, but they also believe in another individual coming from heaven, the Mahdi, who is known as the Guided One. Both Shiites and Sunnis believe that alongside Jesus, the Mahdi will erase all error, injustice, and tyranny from the world. He will be a descendant of Muhammad, it is believed. He'll bear the name of Muhammad. His rule will not be long, only perhaps 19 years at the most. His coming will be accompanied by the raising of a black standard, which I won't go into any detail about. But when the Mahdi comes, according to Islamic teaching, the Antichrist will appear in the east. It is reported that Muhammad said this about the Mahdi: "The world will not pass away before the Arabs are ruled by a man, the Mahdi, of my family, whose name will be the same as mine." And some people believe that Osama bin Laden is actually the Mahdi. If that were to be true, that means that someone who probably is working with him would be the Antichrist. But I won't go into much more detail there. It's just very interesting that they believe in the return of Jesus. They also believe in the Antichrist. And the belief that bin Laden is the Mahdi lends credence to the thought that the end times are upon us.
So is it a matter of taking the piece